Hello learners, today we are going to talk about cultivation of king oyster mushroom. Friends, you have learnt about number of mushrooms, you have heard about number of mushrooms. You might have seen also in nature different colors of mushrooms are there, some are edible, some are poisonous also. But when we are going for cultivation, when we eat edible and cultivated mushroom, there is very minimal chances of contamination. One of the most important, most delicate mushroom and delicious mushroom is king oyster mushroom. It is also known as Kabuli dhingri, and is a very stuffy mushroom and grows at low temperature. This mushroom is not much popular, but in India, but is very popular in China, Japan and Southeast Asia as well as in European countries. Now the demand of this mushroom is picking up in our country also. But it is a very good mushroom and delicious also, and we can earn a lot by cultivating this mushroom and by processing this mushroom also. This mushroom basically grows at low temperature, is preferably at 13-14 degrees centigrade is optimum temperature for this mushroom, and these all mushrooms basically prefer cellulosic material and are wood decaying mushrooms are basically. So, this mushroom is being cultivated in straws as well as in sawdust. Broaden leaves sawdust is more preferably the trees which have broad leaves, this is preferably give good yield. So, this mushroom is you can grow this mushroom at your home in small quantity as well and get good yield. This mushroom basically gained popularity 2-3 decades back, and as I have told you, this is popular in European as well in China, Japan and other parts of the world. This mushroom is basically scientific name is this mushroom is Pleurotus erenjai, and this mushroom is being cultivated in bags as well as in bottles in polypropylene bags basically, and it started in Japan in 1933 and its production was merely in small number is in 1900 tons only. Now it is increased up to 50,000 tons. The figure you see 40,000 if 2006, but it is becoming popular year after year. So, there are 3 steps for cultivating of this mushroom. One is substrate preparation, second is inoculation of the substrate, and third is putting the inoculated material in an incubation for some time. So, this is basic 3 steps involved in cultivation of this mushroom, and in substrate preparation which I have told, basic substrate is either sawdust, even in straws as well, in corn cobs, all these being utilized, and this substrate basically sawdust is being improvised by putting some bran like wheat bran, rice bran, even these are being utilized to enhance its fertility. So, so that mushroom mycelium can get the maximum of food from that and give you a good fruiting. So, this substrate when we are preparing this substrate, the 60 moisture content of the substrate must not go beyond 65%, and pH of the substrate should not should be around 6.5 after doing sterilization. So, this substrate what I have told you, the basic substrate is sawdust and sawdust of broad leaves trees. So, the moisture content we have to be particular, and for that the wetted substrate is put into the polypropylene bags or bottles, and 1 to 1.5 kg basically the substrate is being packed in the polypropylene bags, and if you have bottles you have to fill up the top of the bottles, and after that we have to autoclave these bags, and before autoclaving we also have to put some hole into it, so that spawn we can put the spawn up to the bottom of the this sawdust. So, how this is being done? This is, you see, this is a basic substrate sawdust, and sawdust is being improvised by putting the wheat bran around in 100 kg of sawdust. Normally 20 kg of wheat bran is being mixed, and simultaneously for maintaining the pH of the substrate, we add some calcium sulphate as well calcium carbonate, and after mixing all these we put the water for maintaining the moisture content around 60-65%, equal quantity of. If you have 100 kg of total substrate, you put 100 or 120 kg of water or liter water into the substrate and properly mix into it, and then you have to just mix all, thoroughly mix in, and you leave it for overnight, and in during that process what will happen, the whole this one moisture will get absorbed by the substrate, and after in the next morning you can fill into the PP bags or bottles around 1 to 1.5 kg, and you must check the pH at this time. This is around 6.5, and after that you can measure it and weigh it. It should be around 1 to whatever the and it will be beautiful that exact quantity of substrate is being put into it. And similarly for putting for making space for spawn, this gentleman is making hole through the this sawdust through the substrate by putting a pipe and pressing it. You will the space will become available for spawn. You have not to put the spawn now, you have to put the spawn, or you have to inoculate the spawn in the sterilized conditions after autoclaving. So, this guy is first filling the bag and then making the space for spawn, and then it this bag will be covered with the plug cotton plug. So, that you can you have to steam pasteurize the substrate. So, for that you have to autoclave the substrate. So, just closing the mouth of the bag, you are using cotton plugs, and like this this become ready for autoclaving. And these autoclave you have to put this the substrate into the autoclaves, and this autoclave you have to autoclave the bag for around 1.5 hour to 2 hours at 22 psi. During this period the substrate will get autoclaved, the substrate will get sterilized, and no harmful microbes, even bacteria, fungus, spore will not be remain there. This is why this is being autoclaved. Autoclaving the material is must. After that you have to cool it down for 5-6 hours, so that normal temperature of the substrate become normal around 20 degrees centigrade, 23 degrees centigrade. The room temperature will become of the bag temperature. So, after that you have to inoculate these bags. You have to put the spawn into the bag, and the spawn must go into that hole, so that the spawn will get become available to the substrate up to the bottom easily. Otherwise, it will take more time. You can put directly also and you can mix it, but it will be better that you put the spawn into the hole of the in the middle of the bag in the hole like this. This is the and this inoculation is being done in the sterilized conditions, where no harmful in the air is filtered through HEPA filters, where you have to took out this cotton plug and you have to inoculate it. This is how you have to keep these inoculated bags at 23 to 27 degrees centigrade temperature. During this is called incubation. During this the spawn will colonize the substrate, and after cooling it, after the complete spawn run, you have to lower down the temperature. You have to shift the bags in a cropping room, where you have to maintain 14-16 degrees centigrade temperature along with aeration and light. You have to maintain 80% of humidity as well as light, 8 to 10 hours of 800 to 1000 lux light you have to put on it, so that fruiting will initiate. This is the basic need. You see how the fungus, the spawn has colonized the bag. Like this whole colonization will happen of the substrate of the sawdust or the even vista. After around 25-30 days, the whole substrate will get colonized, and this bag is ready for fruiting. So, from the top you cut the top, and from the top the mushroom will start appearing onto it, and around after spawning you will get mushroom around after a month. Yani it takes around 30 optimum 30 days on an average. So, this is the how mushroom will start coming out of the substrate, and the beautiful mushroom will become around 3 to 4 days, this size will become available for harvesting. You harvest these mushrooms by cutting from by the knife or by just twisting, and then this you have not to wash it, because the where you are cultivating this is hygienic conditions, and no washing is required, just you pick it, cut it and pack it. This is how you can cultivate this king oyster mushroom, and most easiest mushroom. Also you can take the ready made bags of these mushroom from this Mahana Pratap Horticulture University Center from at Murthal. You can you can cultivate mushroom at your home, ready made, and well colonized bags you can pick from the center, and you just do the cultivation at your home. You just put the bags in a room onto the shelf and maintain the proper hygienic condition, proper humidity and lighting. You will start getting mushroom for another 40-45 days. This is how this mushroom is cultivated. Learners, now we will talk about cultivation of Shitake mushroom. Just we have talked about king oyster mushroom. Similarly, another mushroom is Shitake mushroom. This is basically this word Shitake came from Japan, and this is very much popular in Japan. This mushroom is precious for Japanese, and is a very tasty mushroom and having lot of medicinal properties. This mushroom is number 1 of mushroom of the world in production wise, and now why become number 1? Because people have started eating this mushroom, they have liked this mushroom. Other some years back, around 40-50 years back, butter mushroom used to be number 1 of the world, but now Shitake has become number 1 because it has lot of medicinal properties and it is very tasty mushroom, and this is known by Lanternula idodes, and this is being largely cultivated in China, Japan, Taiwan and Korea and United States of America, and even is because of his unique taste, and so is a lot of medicinal properties as a anti-cancer properties. A lot of anti-cancer mushroom properties are there in the mushroom. So, this is how this mushroom is similarly cultivated as I have told you about king oyster. Same methodology is there, and is being cultivated in wood logs earlier, and due to scarcity of forest and due to scarcity of wood logs, this is being now cultivated in synthetic media. Synthetic media, you can say synthetic logs. This is prepared from the sawdust. The sawdust become after colonized by this fungus become similar to wood logs. So, this has earlier this started in wood logs, now is shifted to synthetic sawdust logs. Due to this method is and this mushroom is being cultivated on broad leaves trees, and this mushroom basically grows from little bit moderate temperature around you can grow it 16 to 18 even 24 degrees. Lot of strains has come which grows at high temperature, and some strains are there which grows at moderate temperature. So, lot of strains are there of this mushroom world over, and basic need of this mushroom is broad leaves sawdust, and even we have tried this mushroom is good, grows better on this corn cobs also, and mixture of corn cobs and mixture with the sawdust, and efforts have been made to the other wheat straw also, and is successfully is being cultivated in wheat straw and paddy straw also, and it grows below 20 degree basically, but strains has come which grows even up to 24 degree centigrade temperature, and similar log cultivation log is prepared as I have told you for king oyster mushroom. You can see this this is the how 3 basic steps are there: substrate preparation, inoculation and incubation. In substrate preparation, basic substrate is sawdust, and in sawdust you are putting wheat bran and putting cane sugar, even calcium carbonate, calcium sulphate and citric acid. This is these ingredients are to maintain their pH, and this normal pH is preferably is good, and even 6.5 to 7 pH it will grow better. So, in if you have 100 kg of you have 80 kg of sawdust, you have to put around 20 kg of wheat bran and around 1.3% of cane sugar, and this is sucrose, and calcium carbonate around 1.5% and citric acid 0.2%, calcium sulphate around 0.5%. These are basic ingredients needed for preparing the substrate for this mushroom, and similarly you have to wet the substrate. After mixing all these ingredients, you have to wet it, and you have to you have to maintain temperature, maintain moisture of the substrate around 60 to 62%, even not more than 65%, and then after mixing you have to leave it for overnight. In that time, this all the ingredients will get absorbed by the sawdust or the material which you have prepared as a substrate, and then you have to fill into the polypropylene bags, and then you have to narrow down the mouth of the bag by putting ring, that is called neck ring, that is made of PP material, and that then you have to put it plug it to the with the node absorbent cotton, as you have done in the King oyster mushroom. Similar technology, you have to just you have to make space for spawn into the bag, and then you have to plug it, and after plugging you have to put into the similar autoclaves, and in autoclaves you have to put it for 22 psi for 1 and 1.5 hours, maximum to 2 hours, and during this you must try that the bag may be more or less cylindrical, so that you can get good mushroom out of it. This mushroom come from all around the bag. So, cylindrical shape is more preferred, and after sterilization you have to keep the bags in the cool room for 10 to 12 hours, and after 10 to 12 hours you have to inoculate the bags with the spawn, and around 4 to 5% spawn is needed per kg of substrate. You can understand 40 to 50 grams per kg of this substrate. You have to put the spawn into the hole, so that spawn will reach up to the bottom and fill the hole with the spawn, and this is the autoclave, and this is spawning, and this after putting, you have to then put the bags in a cropping room, in a incubation room, and you have to maintain the temperature of the incubation room 23 to 25 degrees centigrade, and in that you have to keep on the light on and off. You have to give 4-hour light and 20-hour light dark cycle, and you have to maintain the temperature. In that case, the whole spawn run will occur into the bag. Whole substrate will get colonized by the mycelium of this fungus, and this is how inoculation, what I have shown you in earlier slides also. And after that, you have to put the bags in the incubation room, what I have told you just now. This is the inoculated bags in around 60 to 80 days. This is the difference with the King oyster mushroom. King oyster mushroom maximum 25 to 30 days colonization period was there, but in this case the incubation period during which the spawn run occurs is up to 60 to 80 days. Some strain has come which takes little bit less time, around 50 days, but generally it takes around 60 to 80 days for complete spawn run. During spawn run, a whole colonization with the fungus of the substrate, and this is during this period it goes through the mycelium growth and mycelial growth, mycelial bump formation and browning. During this incubation, all this will happen. Whole colonization will occur. First it will become white, then it will become little brown, and then bump formation will take a place. This is takes around 9 to 10 weeks, and this is how you can say there is a carbon dioxide fluctuating of the, why I have sent you some light is required, some this is a bump formation is must in this mushroom. This is the pigmentation, this is from white to brownish is also required in this mushroom. So, after longer spawn runs, the surface of the colonized substrate may become turn brown, and some exudates will also, some little bit of brownish exudates will come out of it. So, we have to remove the polypropylene after complete span run, after 60 days or around 80 days, you have to remove complete bag, first 1/3, then you have to remain complete, and like this. You see in the pictures, this is the complete span run, first become little like this, then it will become like this, and completely it become brown like this. Then after that you have to give a shock to it, because mycelium has in the sleeping stage. For initiating fruiting, you have to dip these bags after taking out of the polypropylene bags, you dip into the cold water. This cold water you can make it with the ice or ice, and in that case you have to put into in that case the soak the mycelium gets soaked from the cold water, and then you take it out of the cold water. It should be remain around 15-20 minutes in the cold water, so that also moisture get absorbed by the substrate. This will not damage the mycelium, and it will not vanish also, it will not also fragmented, it will remain intact, because the mycelium has well colonized it and make it as a wood log type. So, this is how you have to make the synthetic logs, and after complete colonization become ready to fruit. This fruiting is induced when you provide suitable temperature, high humidity and good ventilation and cold water stock treatment, which I have shown you just, that you have to, for initiating the fruiting body fruiting from these bags, you have to put it, you have to give a cold water shock treatment, and in the cropping room you have to maintain the well lighting as well as high humidity and ventilation. This is, and then this will mushroom will start coming out of it. You can understand this will come mushroom will start coming out after 60-70 days. You will not get mushroom earlier to that. So, longer incubation period is there in this mushroom, but it is a very tasty mushroom. This is how this is completely colonized, and some exudates have started coming out. This is the ready form when you have to take out the substrate out of polypropylene bags, and even longer cylindrical bags I told you like this. This is cylindrical bags, long bags, and from the whole bags this mushroom will come out. This is how this completely bags, the long cylindrical bags, this is similar to wood logs. So, this is how fruitings are coming, the dark brown mushrooms are coming, and this mushroom is very tasty as well, is a good shelf life. It will dry as such, and you will find in the market dried shiitake mushroom, and this when you have to use it, you have to just put into the hot water, it will become like it is a fresh mushroom. So, this mushroom is very precious mushroom, even flavor of this mushroom during growing, its effects are antiviral. You will not if you have some nausea, it will get clear when you will visit this cultivating room in cropping room this shiitake mushroom. This is how this beautiful mushroom comes out, and this longer cultivation period also is there. After 60-80 days you are getting the mushroom, for another around 3 months you will getting mushroom out of these bags, out of these logs. This is a picture of a beautiful commercial farm of this mushroom, and this is all about king oyster mushroom as well as shiitake mushroom. On similar pattern king oyster mushroom, similar pattern shiitake mushroom, similarly you can cultivate high temperatures Ganoderma mushroom. Just only difference is that in Ganoderma the temperature is 28 to 30 degrees centigrade, just like milky mushroom. Similarly bags are prepared as of king oyster mushroom. So, these are all about king oyster mushroom, all about shiitake mushroom. Learners, you might have learnt about shiitake mushroom well, and when you will go through the literature and when you will see the videos, definitely you will understand it better. So, thank you friends, thank you learners, thank you.